Rob, and welcome to Access Garage. So, we're still trying out the new GoPro here. Let me know in the comments below whether you like it or not. I don't know yet. I got little fuzzies, dead cat fuzzies on the microphones, try to reduce the wind noise. I don't know if the audio picks up as well. Do I need to get a mic and a whole setup? I think I'm gonna probably have to. But anyway, we're going naked on the GoPro, aside from the dead cat fuzzies, and I'm gonna try this CGSLUIT, CGSULIT, however you say it, CGSLUIT. We're gonna try this one more time. Now, we've been using this on and off to check codes. It does regular OBD2 and it does GM specific stuff. It reads codes great. It's got bi-directional controls. We've made some videos here or there trying to use it to reset TPMS with no luck, whether it was a problem with the vehicle, the TPMS sensors, or this thing, I don't know. We've tried to set the cam crank correlation relearn. We couldn't do that. We don't know if it was a problem with the cam sensor, crank sensor, or this thing, or it's us, operator error. Couldn't do that either. So we got it plugged in. Let me turn the ignition on. It actually powers right up when you plug it in. It does, however, allow you to, we did use it to change the settings on the TPMS tire pressure wise. So we are going to go over to, right now it's on OBD2, we're going to switch it over to GM and hit yes. And then it's a smart VIN, we're going to hit yes, and it's going to populate the vehicle. And that does take it, it's not super fast, it's an inexpensive scan tool. It's, you know, like $100 to $150 depending on when you buy it. I'll link it in the description below. They did send it to me to test and evaluate. It does give you a lot of information about the car. I just haven't found the bi-directional controls to work as well or as easy as I thought they would. But it has helped us because it does give you the other things that a simple scan tool that we usually use doesn't give you. So it's got the VIN, yes. Automatic transfer case, yes. 4-button selectable, yes. Base radio, up-level radio, navigation radio. It's got the up-level radio, yes. Dual zone HVAC, automatic, yes, this is the automatic one, automatic. Equal to or under 8,600 pound gross vehicle weight, yes. Rear drum brakes or rear disc, we have rear disc, yes. And now it's going to populate the data for the specific vehicle. So it's got quick scan and control modules is where I'm at. Hopefully you could see that with the glare. I'm going to go to control modules because we have a airbag light on and we're trying to chase that down. So control modules, and this is something that the regular, you know, Autel cheapo scan tool that most people that do shit yourself have. Doesn't give you transmission codes and airbag codes and ABS codes and things like that. So now it gives you a whole bunch of menu options. So we're going to go down to supplemental inflatable restraint and hit yes. And we're going to go trouble codes. You could do trouble codes, ECU information, live data, active test, and special functions. We just want to go trouble codes at this point, and we want to read the codes. And I've done this. I've read them and erased them and read them and erased them, and they keep coming back up again. All right, so what I have is a B0100 and a B0103. And I'll show you that. Hopefully the glare isn't too bad. Let me try to shield it a little bit from you there. All right, now it says electronic front end sensor 1 performance and electronic front end sensor 2 performance. Now, it's not saying a circuit low, circuit high, a short, or anything like that. It's just saying the performance of the sensor. Now those airbag, they're the airbag sensors. They're the crash sensors. They're the sensors that are mounted in the front of the vehicle, that if the car gets hit, that's what tells your airbag to go off or not go off or whatever it might be. Those sensors are pretty involved sensor. Sends a lot of feedback to the ECM constantly, back and forth. They're a pretty robust sensor. However, they're in a crappy spot. Well, they have to be in a crappy spot because they got to be up front, ready to take that impact if you have a front end impact. And they tend to corrode, especially in climates like here in New York, where we have the browning of the roads and a lot of corrosion. Sensor 1 and Sensor 2 performance, I'm going to go with I need sensors. And from all of the internet research I could do, when you have the performance issue and no other code, it's usually just the sensors that have gone bad. A lot of times they start to crack and water gets in them and screws them up. Luckily, they don't default to launch the airbag in your face, or we'd have a real problem. So I got a performance issue with those two sensors. Now, when you go online to try to buy sensors, there's a gazillion choices, and every automated parts lookup that you use might give you a different number for the sensor, and even different Sensor 1 and Sensor 2, different numbers back and forth. And from all the research I've done, I think they're all the same. I think the numbers are BS. However, I went up under the vehicle and I stuck my phone up there with the camera on, and I snapped a picture so I can get a picture of the label on either side. And this vehicle, I think, might have had the same number on either side. We're going to find out because we're going to do that job today. But I Googled one of those numbers, sensor came up, found them on eBay from a used, like probably a wrecking yard or something like that, a part, car dismantling place where they've been tested, guaranteed and tested, and they were probably about 30 bucks more than everybody else had them on eBay, but these were tested, and the guy had a pretty big information thing about where he tested them. I'll link the eBay ad in the description because I felt the most comfortable buying used ones from this guy, and I think they were about 50 bucks each, somewhere in that line. New ones, new GM ones, yeah, they're in the $300 range, $200 to $300 or something like that. Dorman makes them. I heard the Dorman ones were pretty lousy. I don't know, I've never used them. I've never ever replaced one before. First time, and I'm taking you along, so let me grab the sensors and I'll show you what we got. So like I said, I don't know if I had two different numbers or not, or two with the same number. I'm not 100% sure, but I got two with the same number, and I'll show you what they look like. There's a number, little sensor. It's got a plug, plugs in. Now the guy on the eBay ad, he had got, I mean, these are in real nice shape. They're not even really that dirty, just a little dusty. There's no green crusties on the terminals. The bolt can come out all the way, but it's kind of captured in there. 10mm head on it. Now, a lot of people test them with resistance, and they claim that resistance is the way to test them. However, this guy claims that you can't test them with resistance, that there's some other way or special way to test them or something like that. And that's why you're paying extra, because he's already done that, and that's why he's guaranteeing that it's going to work out of the box or out of the padded bag. Really all you need is a small ratchet. You could probably snake an electric ratchet up in there, or the, like what I like to say, cordless air tools, or a open end ratcheting wrench or something like that. Got a little ways to go. We'll go under the car, we'll bring you, get a flashlight and a couple of wrenches, and we'll see how easy they are to get out or not. Alright, I think I got enough tools. I got a flashlight, I got a cordless pneumatic ratchet with a 10mm, I got a ratchet, I got a ratcheting 10mm wrench, I got a little pick and a little pocket screwdriver to get the wire connection off. I will take you and put you on my little tripod, and let's go under and see. Okay, so just to orient you, here is the front of the frame rail, here's the radiator support, and yep, that's the radiator support. Here is the splash shield, the lower engine splash shield, and there's a wire loom. I'll just unclip that from its plastic housing, and you can see right behind that wire loom there's the connector. It does have a orange safety tab that you have to pull out first, and then the connector. Now the bolt itself is going up, so if you reach in front over here, you should be able to get you can definitely get a ratcheting, you can definitely get an open-end wrench. I'm gonna see if I can go in with the no, I don't have enough clearance for this. Maybe if I had a like a metric shallow socket, but if I come right up, okay, here's your problem, lady. That thing just split into two as soon as I tried to hold it straight while I ratchet it off, so I might as well, while I'm up here, get the whole thing off. Okay, after a lot of screwing, there's our piece that we unscrewed. And now we got this guy here, who I just try to look at that to see how that comes apart. If the splash shield wasn't here, it would be a lot easier. Okay, there's the lock. Comes out like that, and then press the yellow tab. Comes off nice and clean, no green encrusties, just a mutilated sensor, and I guess that's it. All the business end is right here. This other end is just the mount end. That's just split into two. Huh. All right, and there's our number. Let's compare it to the new one. So this one is the AA10028, and yeah, different. It's different. It's the same, but it's different. All right, so we are going to, I think the best way to do this is to, let's get it up there. And then I'm sure I could plug it in while it's in there. This way I won't have any chance of messing the wire up. So I'm just threading it in by hand. No, I'm blocking you. And I'm using one hand to hold it, the other hand to thread it in. Okay, and it's in there snug. Now, just to show you, it's mounted like this. You see this little notch in the top fits in an opening in the bottom of the radiator support to keep it oriented in the right direction. Now, I'll take my wire, plug it back in, all right, and then I'll put my lock back in. I know I'm blocking you. There's just no way to do it without blocking you. There it is, all in place. And then I'll take my wire loom, stick that back in its holder, and hide it all from you. All right, that's one. Let me do the other one, and let's see what happens. All right, well, it was the same process on the other side. The only difference with the other side is that it's your other arm. So for a righty, it was easier to do the right side as opposed to the left side, just because of the way you have to finagle your arm up and in there. But anyway, back in the car. Now, before we turned off the ignition and unplugged the CGSLUIT, I did clear the ABS codes out, because I know that as soon as I start the car, the ABS codes would come on. I keep saying ABS, airbag codes would come on. If I've been saying ABS this whole video, excuse me, it's airbag. So now I will start the truck up and let's see if these AB airbag codes come back on. So my airbag light blinks a few times, does its self-check, and let's see if that goes out. And it goes out. Awesome. It was like an immediate, it would come back. So I am error-free, as you can see. So here we are, ignition off, ignition on. You see the airbag light blinking, and start it up. And it's gonna blink, go through its self-check, and it is out. Awesome. I'm happy with that. It was relatively inexpensive, buying them on eBay. I will, I'll link it, or I'll link that eBay seller. I'll get you there. I was, like I said, I looked around, looked at a bunch of used ones, thought about buying new ones, but that eBay seller who gave a nice description, a nice thing about the way he tests them and everything like that, I think he was out in Vegas or something like that. I'll link it in the description below. Let me know if you've tackled this. The only real drawback to doing this, it is the scourgiest part of your vehicle. So prepare to get your hands real dirty, your arms dirty. It's just the scourgiest part of the vehicle, and doing it on your back in the driveway, you're fishing your arms up through there, and it's a disgusting mess. And this is basically a pretty clean engine compartment, pretty clean everything, and that's still a scourgy area. Like I said, I'll link everything in the description below, and as always, thanks for watching.